going to get the keynote address by the Michigan Deputy Secretary of State. You're going to have to help me out. Agogo Edevier. See, I saw that. Edevier. Okay. So he currently serves as Michigan's Deputy Secretary of State. Before Secretary Benson appointed him in March 2023, he was the Michigan State Director of All Voting. All voting is local. He plays a critical role for more than a decade in protecting voters through his advocacy for ballot drop box, early voting, increased funding for clerks, and protections of election workers. And you know that's very, especially in Michigan, with the mess that happened in 2020, we have to make sure the volunteers and the workers are protected. During the 2022 election cycle, he served on the drafting committee for the successful Voting Rights Proposal 2 ballot initiative, which amended Michigan's constitution. A Detroit native, he has a bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Michigan and a Juris Doctorate from the University of Michigan Law School. So without further ado,
thank you so much. I'm really honored to have the opportunity to be here today and to just talk a little bit about the election that's coming up. You know, what was referenced before was that so many people here are raising American children, and I'm one of those American children. My parents are Nigerian immigrants who came here with the hope of a better life, to give their children more opportunities, and I'm living that out. And ultimately, all of those opportunities come through voting. This is the 8th election where I've had the opportunity to protect people's votes. I started on this road back in law school at the University of Michigan, just working to make sure that polling locations were open on time and that people knew where to go and cast their ballots. But the last 8 years that we have faced in this country, and we've all seen it, the upheavals, the bigotry, the things that we never thought we would see in this country. I had, my uncle was come to visit us this summer and said, you know, I never thought I would ever see a January 6th in the United States of America. We always thought America was this shining city on a hill that was a example to the rest of us of what democracy should be. It still can be that way, but ultimately it takes everybody, including everyone in this room, working together to ensure that we can truly have a country that is worth fighting for. And it takes people who are immigrants to this country as well. Because those of you who are eligible to vote are a part of the American fabric that we know so dearly. Every single person who's in this country, unless you're a Native American, ultimately comes from somewhere else. And that is what is our strength. We take the collective genius of this world and we bring it here and we bring it together to ensure that we have a path forward as a nation. And so that people who are green card holders for at least 3 to 5 years can become eligible to become citizens. And I hope everyone takes that wonderful opportunity and becomes a part of this country. And at those naturalization ceremonies, you're typically given the option to register to vote and to become a voter in this country. Now, we do have an election coming up very soon. And so I want to make sure that the people in this room who are eligible are registered to vote. And you can go to michigan.gov/vote and check your registration. If for whatever reason you're not registered or your registration is not current, one place that you can go to make sure your registration is up to date is your local clerk's office. You can also find out where your local clerk's office is at that same website. So go there, make sure you're registered to vote, and also find your sample ballot. Figure out who you're going to vote for. The ballot is long. We vote for a lot of different things in this country, but it's really for our whole entire benefit. And now you have a number of different options to vote. Today is the first day of early voting in the state of Michigan for this presidential election, where you can go to an early vote location, get a ballot, cast it, and put it directly into the tabulator and have it counted before Election Day. That's a new innovation that we passed in 2022 with Proposal 2 to ensure that people who are busy with their lives, people who have enormous commitments, raising their children, working jobs, don't have to wait to cast an in-person ballot, but can do it early. So that's one thing. We also have in that initiative the ability for you to track your absentee ballot when it's being sent to you and when it's being sent back. We urge you to take it to a Dropbox and put it in that Dropbox so that it's securely cast with your clerk. Now, additionally to that, I want to make sure that people know how to get IDs. IDs are extremely important. I saw that the Detroit ID folks are in the lobby. It's a wonderful way to have some identification. You can also make an appointment with our department at michigan.gov/SOS. And even if you're here on a visa, you can also get a driver's license. You can go and you just bring your documentation showing your legal status in this country, and you can get a driver's license to safely and securely drive on our rolls. We know that Michigan and Detroit are ultimately, we're the motor city, and to get anywhere you need a car. So having your driver's license is extremely important. But ultimately, before I close, I just want to reemphasize that this election is going to be extremely important. When you think of everything that you care about as an American, as someone who lives in this country, ultimately it derives from somebody who's elected. You think of our roads, you think of our economic policy, you think of jobs, you think of immigration policies. All of that, as the congressman said, derives from somebody who's ultimately elected. That is our system. So if you want to be involved and have a say in what is happening here, it is up to you to be involved, or else somebody else will have that decision made for you. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to have this discussion, and I'm thankful for all that we're doing together collectively to ensure that America stands strong in the days ahead. Thank you so much.